What day is it? It's Sunday. It's Sunday morning. We're doing some back and posture work, very gentle. We're gonna learn some tools to help you move a little bit when you're at work, when you're doing whatever you're doing, and your back is feeling stiff. All right, that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna grab another sip of caffeinated drink, and we'll be ready to begin. All right. Oh, let's go. The first thing we want to do is gently move our spines. All right. We want to get a little bit of the up and down, back and forth, so that some of the stiff muscles from sleeping, for me at least, have loosened up a little bit. And let's get to it. You can do cat cows or variations of the cat cow from most places. You don't need any equipment, but if you want to do them on the floor, where it'll be easiest to let the gravity help pull you down, put your knees under your hips, put your hands underneath your shoulders, and I want you to bring your belly button down to the ground. Oof. Then I want you to put a little bend, a little arch into your spine as you lift your head up. Breathe, and then do the opposite. Focus on your belly button. Bring it up into the sky. Work on maybe the top of your abs. See if you can push that part of your back up into the air. Tuck your chin just a little bit, and that is one cat cow. We've done bending in one way, bending in the other direction. We're trying to get a little bit of motion. We've done two. Let's do five in total, and then move on. Arch the spine, nice and slow and gentle. This is not an explosive or fast movement. This is oh, feeling good. Hopefully, I think this is four, and this is five. I just realized that I do not have an earbud in for TikTok. Give me a second, and let's continue. All right, did a couple of cat cows from a hands and knees down on the ground position. You can do these at work, on the train, maybe not while driving, but if you're a passenger while you're sitting in a motor vehicle, and they look a little bit like this. You can still push your belly button really far forward. You can still arch your back. You can still look up and behind you, and you can still get a whole bunch of that arch. You can still do the opposite and try to lift this mid back portion, pull it back behind you, and tuck the chin around and get movement in your spine. Oh man, a whole bunch of things cracking and adjusting. You can still do all those movements from a seated position. And sometimes that's probably the tool that you need to get a little bit of movement, to get some stiffness out of your body. All right. Oh, now that we've done a couple of quick moves, let's get ready to start doing a little bit more intense stuff. All right. A lot of the time, when your back is super stiff, your butt muscles also stop working. All right. A lot of the time, when you're feeling low back pain, specifically, your glute muscles aren't firing to help do what they need to be doing, and your low back is compensating for it. So we're going to slowly work our muscles from the back down to the glutes, and we're going to do a whole bunch of different moves. All right. I want you to be very thoughtful about what you're feeling, what muscles are firing, just poking your back, poking your butt to see what's going on so that you know what you need to add into your life. If you have one or two moves that you figure is your go-to, that's going to be a great way to leave this show with some powerful tools for you. All right, let's continue with some laying down. It is early in the morning. Let's lay back down and Ugh. Alright. What we're gonna do is slowly work our muscles until we're ready to lift our whole body up off the ground. Alright? What I want you to do is put your forehead down to your arms, and then I want you to inhale. And when you inhale, I want you to lift your upper body up off the ground. And then pause, hold, and then come on down. Before you do that, I want you to wiggle your hips around on the floor a little bit. Find a comfortable spot. If you are just on a floor, you don't have a full mat thing, maybe a very thin pillow for your hips, just to keep them cushioned. Because when you stick your bones into the floor, it kind of hurts. All right, go. From here, heads on your forearms, and find a comfortable spot. Maybe open your legs a little bit wider if you want for stability. And let's go. Inhale and up. And down. Inhale and up. And down. That's 2. Maybe we'll do 5 of these as well. And up. And down. Keep going. And up. And down. That's 4. Keep going. Come on up. And up. And down. Whew. That's 5. Alright. We're just waking up our muscles, alright? This isn't all of it. We're gonna do some lower body. I'm gonna crawl my way over here so you can see my legs coming up. From here, we're gonna lift our legs. We're gonna stick our hips into the ground just like before. And instead of lifting up our torso, we're going to lift up our legs. On the inhale, lift the legs up. Flex your glutes real hard. Focus on these muscles up here. And come on back down. It's not just the glutes. Your hamstrings should probably kick in real hard to help lift. And let's go. Let's do 5 of these as well. Ready? Up. Hold. Down. Whew. Keep on going. Let's go. Number 2. Up. Inhale. Exhale. Down. Whew. Ready? 3. Inhale. Hold. And down. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Inhale. Exhale. Whew. Alright. Now that we've done 5, we've warmed up the muscles that we're using. We're going to combine both of those, alright? I'm not nearly far enough from the camera for you to see enough of the body to do both at the same time, but that's okay. You got the gist. Let's go. If you want to make these a little bit harder, you can keep your arms extended above your head so that your biceps are touching your ears, and you can keep going that way. It's just a little bit more difficult. But for everybody else, you can do as we did. We're just combining the 2 pieces that we did. We did the front of our body, we did the back side of our body, or I guess the torso and the legs. And now we're going to combine into one move. Let's go. On the inhale, I want you to lift everything up off the ground. Find a comfortable position for your hips, and let's begin. Ready? Inhale. Hold. And down. Woo! That's 1. Ready? Let's go again. Inhale. Lift, 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 lift. And down. Whew. That's 2. Keep going. Ready? Inhale. 3. And down. Keep going. 4. Ready? And down. Whew. Focus on lifting. Focus on contracting. Focus on being powerful. We don't have to go super fast. We can chill for a second. We can let your body recover from all the contraction. And then we're going to go again. Ready? Inhale and lift. Hold. Contract those muscles, keep them held, and slowly come on down. Exhale. Relax. Whew. That's 5. Since we've already done 5, let's do 10. Let's do 5 more. All right. Inhale and up. Hold and down. That's 6. 4 more. Inhale and up. Hold and down. That's 7. 3 more. Inhale and up. Hold and down. I think that's 8. 2 more. Pause for a second. Do a little wiggle in your hips. Try to relax some of those muscles that are working real hard, because we're going to work even harder for 9 and 10. I want you to really contract. I want you to give it your best. I want you to pull those limbs up into the air, and when you relax, feel like you've super earned it. All right, let's go. Inhale up. Lift. Come on back down. Last one. Make it count. Let's go. Inhale and up. Lift, and down. That's 10 reps. You probably are feeling it in your low back, feeling quite a bit of strain there. That's okay. Stay low, flop. If you can, take your hands, stick them right into those muscles right next to your spinal column. Massage them, poke them, give them some relaxation. Do a tiny mini chest lift to see, or to feel, I guess, because you can't see your back, to feel your spine muscles kicking in so you know what causes what. All right, and all right, relax. Just don't do anything. Do a little wiggle, do a little shake, flop around on the floor. Relax some of those muscles in the spine. They have earned it, and we're gonna flip over. We're gonna do the opposite. All right. What we're gonna do next is often called the dead bug, and it looks basically like we're doing the opposite thing. Oh, thank you. I got some camera adjustment. Thank you. All right. Next up, we're gonna do some dead bug. All right. One of the qualities of the dead bug is we gotta tuck our butts a little bit. Right now, if you're just laying down on your back, it is highly possible you got enough room under your spine for your hands to stick underneath in this low back area. That is not what we want. I want you to tuck your butt just a little bit. It might help to bend your knees. When you bend your knees, it might be a little bit easier to really push this low back portion of your spine down into the ground. Do a little wiggle, and once you're here, see if you can get comfortable and breathe. All right? And keep breathing. And keep breathing. And what we're going to do next is we're going to lift our arms up above our head. And we're going to keep on trying to maintain that low back on the floor position. All right? For a lot of people who don't have the mobility, as soon as you lift your arms up, your low back is going to pop up, and then there's going to be a huge space under your back. All right? So, what we're doing is not touch the floor. What we're doing is try to maintain your low back on the ground and lift your arms up. All right? If you're struggling to lift your arms up and you're struggling to bring them to the floor while keeping your core tight, while keeping your low back on the ground, that just means your shoulders are a little stiff or a little tight and need some love. And give it time, it'll be okay. Cool? From here, once you held this for a while and you're like, wow, this is strangely exhausting even though I'm not doing anything, you can bring your arms back. Chill. We're going to switch over and do some legs. All right? Let's scoot up. I want you to keep that low back down on the ground. I want you to keep that core nice and tight, especially here in the front in your abs. And I want you to slowly lift your legs up while keeping your low back on the ground. If you can lift your knees up, great. If you can extend your legs a little bit while keeping your low back on the ground, awesome. We'll just hold it for a couple more seconds. Focus on keeping the low back on the ground. Nothing else is that important. And if you're tired, you can drop your leg. Breathe. Chill. Relax. And we're going to do it again. All right? Again with the legs. Because the legs are heavier. The legs are more intense. We're going to take more breaks. All right? While I was relaxing, my low back came off the ground, and I got plenty of room for a hand to slip underneath. All right. So let's reset. Let's stick the low back down onto the ground. Let's lift the legs up a little bit and find a nice, comfortable position. Try to bring your knees down as low as you can while keeping your low back snugly on the ground. If you want, you can start extending your legs away from you and lifting those. Oh, feel that tension in your core. Feel that tension in your abs. Keep on trying to keep the low back down on the floor. And these are really good for practicing posture, for building a whole bunch of core strength. Oh man, you can stop anytime. As soon as it gets super crazy, you feel like your abs are about to burn. You feel like your abs are about to cramp. You can move out of those. You don't have to keep going. All right. The goal of this exercise is to put a little bit of strain on your body, right? Gravity is pulling your arms down, gravity is pulling your legs down. But what's important is we are trying to hold this position where our back is flat on the ground, and we're putting some extra pressure to make sure that your core is working really hard, activating all those muscles to keep your low back touching on the ground. All right. Whew. Now that you have practiced a little bit of movement, your core up front, your low back muscles here are probably a little bit stiff, a little bit tired, a little bit not wanting to do anything. So we'll change it up. We'll work on the side muscles a little bit. All right. What I want you to do is find. Actually, no, you don't need to find anything. We're just gonna go with the floor. All right. We're gonna work on some side planks. A lot of the time, we ignore the sides of the body. And when you do a side plank, when you try to get into this nice and straight line, or if you try to lift your hips up a little bit higher, you're going to contract these muscles on the side of your core. I want you to get into this position where your elbows are coming straight down off of your shoulder and your feet are doing whatever they got to do to help stay balanced. If you have less good balance, you can feel free to spread your legs a little bit so that you have one point in front and one point in the back to help you stay balanced. If you're feeling stronger, if you're feeling more comfortable, feel free to just have one leg in a straight line down and the rest of the leg on top. All right. We're trying to lift the hips. If you can get it to neutral, great. If you can get a little bit higher up, awesome. The goal is to hold. And we've been pretty gentle about everything else, so I guess we'll stay gentle with this. Let's start with 10 seconds. Come on up. Breathe, inhale. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. That was our warm. We're going to do much more intense round. But I want you to notice that you're probably feeling it quite a bit in this shoulder. That's trying to keep you straight. Contract those muscles, work that shoulder, keep them stable, and that will keep it from being super loose. All right. Yes, this is a core exercise. You're going to feel it here. But if you let your whole body lean into the shoulder joint without contracting the muscles, without using your muscles to stay strong, your shoulder's not going to feel very comfortable. All right. So you got to use those muscles. Cool. Let's go. We got to do this. Let's even it out. And then our warm up will be over. We'll take it up to the next level. All right. Come on up. Hips slightly up. Keep your whole body pointing forward. I guess keep the front of your body pointing that way. And elbows underneath your shoulders, more or less. All right. 10 seconds. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Should be feeling the tension, the contraction here. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on down. If there's anything that feels weird, feels crazy right now, feel free to stop and take a break. Otherwise, we're going to start picking up the amount of time that we're spending in this position, all right? We're going to get right back into the other side. Let's aim for 30 seconds. Cool? Let's go. We're slowly picking up the intensity of this show because I assume it is Sunday morning for everybody and you're not quite ready for full intensity until we've warmed up. Let's go. We're going for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. If you're not breathing, it's not going to be very easy for you to hold this for the next bunch of seconds. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Don't let your hips drag. Don't let them fall to the floor. Keep them high. Contract the side muscles right here towards the floor. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on down. Whew. That is 1. Let's do the other side. Come on back to the other side. I have to spin around because I want to face you. Otherwise, you can just rotate back and forth, right? You don't have to spin around like me. All right, let's do this. Come on up. Keep it nice and tight right here. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. Keep this hip a little bit higher. Contract the muscles here in your core, in your obliques, in your side. 21, maybe 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Keep breathing. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, take a break. Next time we get into these, hopefully you have enough control, some strength left over to start feeling around in your muscles. All right, I want you to feel your side muscles getting engaged. I want you to see if your lats are getting engaged. I want you to try to get as many muscles along the side of your body kicking in, supporting you as possible. All right, a lot of the time when we are doing some of these moves, we focus on maybe one muscle. As soon as we feel the contraction, we feel the tension in one spot, the rest of our body starts relaxing, starts chilling. We start getting a little floppy, getting a little bit loose, and that is not what we want. What we're trying to do is teach the whole entire core to stay strong together. And so I want you to feel and literally feel. I want you to take your hands and see what is contracting, what's loose, and see if you can get some other muscles to start engaging, to start hanging out. All right. When that shoulder and that arm is sticking into the ground, it's quite possible you can get a couple of different pieces of your back kicked in. All right. You got these two huge muscles on either side of you. These are called lats, and they get real big if you do lots of pull-ups. But when you're holding this, when you're trying to pull your elbow down, you're trying to, perhaps you've heard of this, squish a lemon in your armpits, or if you do pull-ups or try pull-ups, breaking the bar, that is how we engage the lats. When you are doing that side plank and you're trying to hold yourself stable, you're trying to keep yourself from leaning too far that way, you're trying to hold your arm down underneath you, the lats can also kick in to support you. All right, that's what we want you to double check. Next, we're gonna take a breath. We're gonna chill for a little longer, and we're going to continue with 30 more seconds where you check yourself out and learn about your muscles. All right, see what's contracting and see what is feeling really intense. If it feels really intense, chances are that's probably something you want to work on, right? You want it to not feel super hard so that when you get into weird situations, your body's like, oh, that's easy, no problem. I've trained for this. Let's go. Elbow down, leg to the side, get that core, kick it in, that oblique across, sort of at a diagonal across the side of your body. 30, 29, 28, 27. You might be able to feel something a little bit higher up, closer towards your armpit. That's nice and tense. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. I want you to try your best to engage some muscles in your arms to see if you can get your shoulders and your delts in particular kicking in nice and firm. Oh, I forgot what number we counted to. 12, maybe 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hopefully, by focusing on what muscles you're feeling, you got a little distracted. Hopefully, it doesn't feel nearly as bad as when we were just counting down from 30 seconds. All right, let's continue to the other side. If you get super sore from side planks, that'll be really funny. It'll be uh, entertaining for me at least because I feel like some of the other exercises are really a lot more brutal on your body, like when you lift your legs and your torso up off the ground. But we've only done one set of those. We've done way more side planks. All right, side plank. Let's continue. Other side. 30, 29, 28. Same thing. Check, feel where the muscles are nice and tense, where they're contracting to support you. Check that your lats are kicking in. Imagine while holding sort of your upper chest with the backside. Imagine that you're trying to squish your elbows in towards your body and see if those muscles in the back suddenly feel like they're contracting even harder. Because that's lat engagement. You're doing it. You're doing it. All right, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Contract a little harder. See if you can lift that hip a little higher. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, whew, that is a whole bunch of side planks. I think we're probably good on side planks for the rest of the day. Let's move on to something else. Hopefully, hopefully, you're understanding a little bit more about your muscles. You're understanding a little bit more about what kicks in when you're trying to stay nice and strong in a nice straight line. We did some of those butt tucky things, right? Where our low back is touching on the ground. We worked on extending the arms, extending the legs while keeping the low back down. We did the exact opposite, forcing a whole bunch of arching, where we lift the arms and the legs, right? And the intent, what I want you to know, is how it feels, how it's a little bit different, how you get your muscles to kick in, do each of those things, because, you know, we're trying to protect the spine, but the only way to protect the spine is building up some muscle armor, right? The spine is designed to move. If it doesn't move at all, you're going to have a really weak spine. If you know how to move it, if you're able to move it, if you're understanding how to keep it strong and protected by doing those planks, keeping the core really tight while still being able to move, while still being able to breathe, is going to be very, very useful for keeping your back feeling a little bit more healthy. All right. What else are we going to do? We talked about back muscles. I also talked about glutes right at the beginning. Oftentimes, when you spend a whole bunch of time sitting, your glutes turn off because they don't have to do very much when you're seated, and your low back starts compensating, and you start feeling stiffness and achiness in the low back. So let's work on some glute exercises. All right. What I want you to do is lay on back down. Whew. And I want you to lift your hips up into the sky. I want you to flex your glutes. Flex, 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 flex. And whew, come on up. If you pull your legs in really close to you, that'll make it a little bit easier. If you put your legs kind of further away from you, that will make it a little bit harder, and it'll also make you feel it more in your hamstrings, right? So what you do exactly is up to you, but if you keep your legs close to you, you're gonna feel it more in your glutes. And we're aiming for a nice straight line across the front of our body right now. Keep those glutes contracted. You'll feel a stretch here in the hip flexor, especially if you sit all day. That is everything. Take a break, pause, breathe, chill. Ah, and we're gonna get ready. We're gonna hold one for 30 seconds, all right? I want you to contract really hard. Contract those glutes. Stay nice and strong. This is called the glute bridge. We're bridging basically our shoulders and our feet. You ready? Let's go. Contract, 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 contract. Feel that contraction. Put a little bit of tension into your core to help keep that straight line, and let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If you find this not intense enough for you, you can do some cute things like stick your arms out in front of you and focus on why your arms are tired, but you can also just focus on your glutes. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. Do a quick visual check. If your hips are starting to fall down, contract those glutes, push a little harder, feel that stretch in the hip flexor. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. If you can, keep holding it. If you cannot, you can rest. But you should be feeling the glutes getting real tired. You can touch your back and feel that your spine muscles are still kicking in, are also kicking in, trying to keep your back straight. You can feel maybe your core is a little bit more relaxed than your back and your glutes, and that is okay. Just make a mental note of how that feels and what muscles are kicking in. Whew. You can relax now. Bring your hips back down and breathe. Oh. Whew. Tuck your knees to your chest. That'll help stretch out your low back a little bit, assuming you don't have low back pain already. If you have significant low back pain, I have heard that bringing your knees to your chest is not going to help. It's going to just irritate your spine more. But if you don't have low back pain, you just got, standard low back discomfort. Pulling your knees to your chest is going to help the back muscles relax a little bit. Cool? Only works up until a certain level. If you're way deep down the rabbit hole of low back pain, this will not be helpful. Chill, breathe, relax. There is another version of this. It's called child's pose. You'll see this in Pilates. For Pilates, you'll see this in yoga. It looks a little bit like this. You're bringing your chest down to the floor while your knees are tucked in underneath you, and this is a relaxing position to help your back muscles relax. We're basically doing the inverse while letting our knees tuck into our chest. It's a little bit different because you get a little bit more relaxation in the upper back and the shoulders compared to when you just tuck your knees into your chest. But for this part, for the low back, mid back, it's about the same. Cool? All right. Now that you learn another way to help your back relax after doing some exercise, child's pose and tucking your knees into the chest, let's talk about something else. Actually, no. We're gonna do more glute bridges. All right. Your glutes are basically the biggest muscles in your body, and we want to make sure that they are doing their job as the biggest muscle in the body. We want to make sure that they're feeling strong. We want to make sure that they're working hard and not putting all that extra work on our low back, on our hips, because our glutes are not firing. All right. So we're gonna go back into that glute bridge. We're gonna do some more glute bridge. I'm gonna show you some harder variations of that glute bridge, and then we're gonna work that glute bridge until we're exhausted, and then we're gonna work on like some posture and some next stuff. All right. Let's go. Glute bridge. Come on back down. Oh, laying down is so nice. Oh man. All right, glute bridge. Let's go. Plant those heels into the ground. Lift up, contract those glutes. Feel the stretch here in the hip flexors. Lift, 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 lift. If you have not gotten your core to kick in a little bit, kick that core into, I don't know, I was gonna say kick it into overdrive. Sounds like some old school Power Rangers slogan. Anyways, flex the glutes, flex the quads, flex as many muscles as you can. All right. We talked about poking, finding out what is working, and I want you to engage more muscles this time. I don't want just your glutes to be engaged. I want you to see if you can get your hamstrings really kicked in, flexing. They don't have to be working at 100% intensity, but flex those hamstrings. Flex the quads a little bit. Really push the hips out. Feel that stretch in the hip flexors. Flex your abs. The more muscles you contract, the more strength you can have in that moment. That does not mean that you won't get tired faster as well. It just means no, you will get tired faster as well, but you'll be able to hit a little bit more strength, a little bit more contraction. I have not counted at all. So I hope you've just been holding this with no chance of knowing when this will end, and that psychological trauma is making you feel emotionally really, really not great. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on down. Ooh. If you're feeling it in your glutes, if you're feeling it in your back, you're feeling it in your hamstrings, you're feeling it in all sorts of muscles in your lower body, that's a good sign. Okay? The reason why I'm emphasizing this and trying to ask you to use more muscles is because when you use several muscles at the same time, they can all be stronger together. There is a principle I don't want to go too deep into, I think, but your glutes and your core, all right? We've been talking about the glutes, we've been talking about the core. Pretty much anything you do, if you need to be a little bit stronger than you currently are, flex your glutes hard, flex your core hard, grip harder if it's relevant, and that should give you a little tiny power boost. That is a superpower. So don't let your glutes sleep, don't let your core sleep. They are extra power boosts, and you should take advantage of that. All right. Am I gonna demonstrate anything here? No, no. You're just gonna have to take my word for it and then go try it later. All right. Whatever you're doing some bicep curls later. If you grip the dumbbell really hard and you keep on doing that bicep curl, it'll suddenly get a little tiny bit easier. If you flex your glutes really hard, you clench your abs real hard, and you grip the dumbbell real hard, and you work on some more dumbbell curls, they will become a little bit easier again, and you'll feel super strong. Your core and your abs will get really tired, but your bicep got super strong for a second. So you got to play the game. What's worth and what's not worth. All right. Anyways, now that we've relaxed a whole bunch, it's time to make the glute bridge a little tiny bit harder. All right. I want you to change it up. I want you to push your legs out a little tiny bit further. We talked about this earlier, where you're going to feel it more in your hamstrings. Once it's further out, your glutes are going to work even harder, and that's okay. That's great. Let's go. Lift, 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 lift. Oh, my hamstring's cramping. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Clench those cheeks. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on down. Woo. Relax. Woo. That is a whole bunch more glute bridges. All right. I feel like we've done plenty for today. I think that's 3 rounds of glute bridges. We're good. Come on up. And let's get ready to do something different. We're going to work a little bit on posture now. And I realized how long we've been running. What time is it? 41 minutes. Okay, that's not so bad. What we're going to do next is some of this upper back mobility. All right. Most of us, we spend a lot of time sort of hunched over in this position. Maybe our heads really flopped over and we're staring at our phones trying to look all casual, but not actually. And this is how we end up spending a lot of time. All right. You got a lot of muscles over here in your upper back. Your shoulder blades, I might be getting this wrong, but it's double digits, are connected to like 16 different muscles in the back. That's how many different muscles there are to train. Don't be super intimidated by that number. Don't worry about it. Most of them you can just contract all at the same time. All right. When your shoulder blades are relaxed and they're loose and you're slouching, your arms are coming down, your chest is contracting, your shoulder blades are going like this, you stretch out a whole bunch of these muscles. And when they're all stretched out, they're going to be a little bit weak. All right. So what we want to do is do the opposite. We want to strengthen those muscles. We don't want to keep on rounding. We don't want to keep on bringing the shoulders in. We want to do the opposite. We want to bring the chest out, feel the stretch here in the front, and we want to bring our back muscles together. All right. So what I want you to do is stick your arms out, stick your elbows out, however you want to stick your arms out. I want you to bring your elbows together in the front. All right, elbows together. Rotating around in 3D to show you what I'm doing is crazy. Bring your elbows together in the front if you can, or bring your hands together in the front if you can, and then do the opposite. I want you to bring your elbows out to either side. If you can go a little bit further, then directly to your right and directly to your left. You can pull it a little bit further back, contract those muscles here in the back, bring your shoulder blades together, and go for it. Let's do a couple of reps. Bring the elbows together. Open it up. Really contract those muscles. Remember, this isn't about bodybuilding. That's not what we're doing right now. We're just trying to get some muscles that don't usually fire, that don't usually do very much for you, to wake up. And for you to feel it, for you to understand that part of your body. All right? Once you have done a couple of these, I think I've done probably 8, but let's just pretend we're all at 5. Keep going. 6. This isn't about speed. This is about contraction. All right. We want you to feel that bunch of muscles in your back working real hard trying to pull your arms open. For most of us, your shoulders are going to be exhausted. All right. Your back is going to be super tired. And all we did was take our elbows from front and back. All right. Those muscles are probably a little bit weak. I want you to continue after you shake out your arms a little bit because it's tiring. I want you to continue, and I want you to take this to something that will measure your progression a little bit better. I want you to take this to a wall. I'm going to scoot the foam flooring out of the way so I don't slip. I want you to maybe stand 4 or 5 inches in front of the wall, lean back, and I want you to stick your arms so that they're touching the wall. All right? You should be able to, hypothetically, bring your palms out and touch the wall. You should be able to make a little fist and then slam your fist into the wall. So we're just rotating the arms forward and back a little bit, all right? And having the wall there will at least get you a relatively straight surface for you to measure against. Most of us are going to get really tired just by hanging here for a couple of seconds because our back muscles are going to be a little weak. Our shoulder muscles are going to be a little bit weak, and that is normal. I'm exhausted. I don't want to be here either. Okay, I get you. I hear you. After a little bit, bring your arms down. Whew. If your full arm extended is really crazy here in the tops of your shoulders, you can just focus on bringing the elbows. All right. It's not that important to me that these muscles are firing super hard. What is important to me is that your back muscles are pulling your arms back behind you until they're touching the wall. Okay. Now, if you are able to do that, I want you to take a small, tiny, itty bitty, like 2-inch step forwards. I want you to stand up nice and straight, and I want you to try again. If you can still touch the wall, then you've got some really decent flexibility. All right, you're doing great. But if you can't touch the wall, then you got some stuff to work on. I can't touch the wall, so that's just me showing you how you can give yourself a more intense goal. All right, it's not it's not me going, oh, obviously you have to be able to reach back. No, it's hard. Most of us have lost a whole bunch of shoulder mobility, and we're just like, what? The arm's supposed to go back there? That's crazy. All right, the reason why we're doing this is because we're getting a little taste, a little understanding of what the shoulder blades could potentially do, what our back could be doing to pull ourselves out of that rounded position and into something a little bit more upright, right? That comes from the shoulder blades, it comes from the muscles in the top part of the back. And we have worked on a couple of these things, right? Bring your shoulder blades back so that you can bring your arms back. We're going to do a little bit more now. What I want you to do is take I don't know, 6 inches in front of the wall. I want you to lean back into it so that your low back is touching the wall. And I want you to have your shoulders resting against the wall, have your head resting against the wall. And I want you to get back into this position, all right? Where your elbows are going straight out, about horizontal line, right? And I want you to try your best to touch your wrists to the wall. It's not going to be easy. For some of you, you might get it, but when you touch your wrist to the wall, your belly button starts coming forward and you start doing this. That's not what we want. We want you to really focus on keeping your low back against the wall and getting your elbows there and then rotating your arms so that your wrists can touch the wall. This is for your posture. When you rotate your arms up, a whole bunch of other muscles in your shoulder will start firing, and chances are they're also going to be weak. Chances are they're not going to be very mobile, and that's okay. What we're doing is giving you a little test you can test against, a thing to work towards so that you can get a little bit more shoulder mobility, right? And I'll let you know right now, I'm stuck like right here. I got whatever this angle is. It's like 15-degree angle between my elbow to my wrist that is not going back. When I am just doing whatever I want, yes, it can probably go back. But when I am following all of those cues, where the low back is touching the wall, the shoulders are touching the wall, the head is touching the wall, the elbows are touching the wall, I cannot get my arms to go that far back because we're getting the shoulder blades engaged. We're getting a whole bunch of these muscles pulling back first, and then we're adding that onwards. It's not just one shoulder relaxed going wee. It's both shoulders at the same time with a whole bunch of other muscles. All of those things together firing. That is what we want. All right. Oh man, that was a lot of words. I hope that made sense because I've never really said this or described it in that way before. And let me know if it made sense. All right, cool. Let's continue. Low back, shoulders, elbows, hands or wrists. And once you've been here for a little bit, try your very bestest to flatten everything out against the wall. I want you to see if you can lift your arms up a little bit and bring them back down. We're just adding some movement, engaging the muscles. You don't have to go fast. You don't have to go crazy. Your blood might not be flowing into your hands anymore because you're contracting so hard. That is okay. I want you to just try your best. These are not hard exercises. You're not doing push ups. You're not doing handstand push ups. Nothing crazy is happening except for the fact that there's a whole bunch of weak muscles in your back that can't open your back. All right? Those muscles are going to be super tired. My hands have like no blood flowing in them. They're super, 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 super confused right now. Shake it out. Relax. Flop around. Shake, 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 shake. All right. We got the form. We know what we're trying to do. We understand vaguely what muscles you're trying to contract really, 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 really hard. So let's go ahead and let's do a couple reps. Let's do 5. Let's start with 5. Butt up against the wall, low back against the wall, upper back head up against the wall, elbows horizontal. Boom. Lift those wrists up. Oh, keep the low back against the wall. And let's go up. Keep on contracting those muscles. Don't give up. That's 1. Once you come back down, whew, keep going. 2. Come on back down. Whew, 3. It is okay if your elbows are not touching the wall. It's okay if your forearms are not touching the wall. In fact, it is completely impossible for me to do so. We are working on our posture together, and we are trying our very bestest to strengthen up some of those back muscles. And oh, stop. Oh, I think that was 5. If your back muscles are super tired, we've done our job. That was the point, right? It doesn't have to look super impressive for it to feel really crazy. So don't get hung up on the gym part of this where you're like, oh, I don't want people to see that I'm not lifting any weights. I'm just lifting my arms up and struggling. Don't worry about that stuff. We're trying to fix our posture. And the posture is controlled by lots of tiny little, not sexy muscles that need some very, very weird looking training. All right. If you have that in your head, then everything else will be fine. Whew! Hopefully, your shoulder's not super tired. Hopefully, you now know a new trick to work on your posture whenever you want to, right? It's not just about puffing your chest out and going, hey, this is good posture. It's about contracting the muscles, about messing around with those shoulder blades until you find a nice spot that's not this. All right, not rounded over, not hunched over. It is about figuring out how to bring some of those muscles into engagement and not just totally relaxing and chilling while you're at your keyboard. All right. When you slouch, because you spend a whole bunch of time in front of a device, that is normal. That's what the body's designed to do. It's designed to help you get into a very relaxed state, to not work very hard, to save you energy while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. All right. So if you spend a lot of time sitting in front of a computer, your body's going to find a way to save as much energy as possible. And that usually takes the form of slouching. To a certain extent, it's going to be super helpful to a certain extent. But certain things become really bad. For example, if you are slouching a lot and your neck is constantly forward like this, your head is going to feel real heavy and your neck is going to be supporting a ton of weight. All right. A lot of us, if you just go out into the streets these days, you can see there's a lot of people who are in this head position. And it's not just from computer stuff, right? It's oftentimes from people who had to work on a table, who had a small thing that they had to constantly be looking at and messing with, right? Every generation has their version of it, right? Maybe reading caused it at some other point, just reading books, not just looking at your phone. There's lots of reasons to be in a certain position. Right now, it's just the computer version. All right. What we're gonna do next is help stretch out some of these neck muscles, help relax some of them, because sometimes neck muscles all tense cause headaches and cause other uncomfortable things. And while we're working on controlling the muscles, stretching out the muscles, we might as well try and make your bodies feel a little bit better. All right. I'm gonna go grab a stool. You should also go grab a chair, grab something to sit on. You don't need it, but it is recommended. Whew. All right. We get to sit down. Going from laying down to sitting down. We are going to stretch out our neck muscles. All right. We are going to lean to one side. We're going to take the arm on the opposite side of the direction that we're leaning. I want you to grab the underside of the chair. All right. And do that gentle, 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 gentle lean. I want you to keep your head relatively neutral, right? Straight up and down. I want you to just lean it to the side. I don't want like turning or too much bending just yet. I want you to keep that head facing forward and just lean it off to the side a little bit. All right. We're going to take our hands. We're going to maintain that same forward neutral angle. We're going to add a little bit of pressure. We're going to just give a little tiny tug. All right. You should feel a stretch building down the neck into the shoulder, into the delt-ish area, depending on what lingo you're using for the different parts of your body. Breathe, relax, chill. If you don't have a chair to hold onto, or your arms don't reach or something, you can stick this arm into an imaginary handhold over here and just pretend that that's locking in place so that when you pull the neck down, you're pushing this shoulder away from you. That should give you a nice stretch here in the neck. Breathe, chill for a couple of seconds. 10 is fine. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're going to move on. Now, I want you to tuck the chin down, and look slightly away. All right? And I want you to get back into that same motion. We're not changing the angle that we're pulling the head. We're still pulling directly to that way. And you should feel the stretch change to a different part of your neck. All right? Same thing with the other hand. We're going to imagine we're holding onto something or physically actually hold on to something. And we're going to pull. Feel that back of the neck. Stretch out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Now we're going to work on maybe not the front, but front side. All right, or side front. I think the primary should be the main thing, right? So side, front. If you tilt your head back just a little bit while keeping it off to the side and you apply a little bit of pressure, you'll feel that stretch changing from the side to the side front. And that's what we want. Tilt that head back, apply pressure directly to this direction, and stick your arm out. Pretend that you're holding on to something. Keep going. Feel that stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Again, this is an imaginary thing. I know you can't see everything because I'm too close to the camera, but this is an imaginary handhold. All right, we're sticking that arm out in front of us as if we're holding on to something. So you don't need anything. You just need to sit your butt down and you can get a nice neck stretch. All right, we did one side. We did the side. We did the side back. We did the side front. Now let's match it up on the other side. Grab your imaginary chair or your real chair and lean. Feel that stretch building across your neck and down to your, or down your neck across your shoulder. And let's give that slight pull. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. Let's go again. Side, sort of front. Tilt your head down so you're looking to your left-ish and down. Keep on pulling your arm, but directly to the left this time. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I mixed up a whole bunch of words. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What I meant to say is, if you look slightly to the left and look down in front of you, you'll feel that stretch in the side back of your neck. If you tilt the head back, you're going to feel the stretch in the side front of your neck. I'm having difficulty somehow, for some reason, talking about the angle here and not doing the side front with my head. I don't know how I've disconnected the two, but that's what's happening. All right, so we stretched out the back, the side back. Now we're going to stretch out the side front. So I want you to lift your head, chin up just a little bit, tilt it off to the side a little bit, and I want you to pull a little bit to the left. You feel that right here. 10, 9. Again, we're holding that imaginary thing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Whew. Hopefully, the two sides of your neck are feeling a little bit better. We're going to stretch out the front of our neck. Most of the time, our neck is doing this, right? So these muscles get nice and short and never get long again. We're going to try and lift them backwards. But don't go crazy. Don't go hard. If anything feels crazy painful, feel free to stop, all right? We're going to slowly tilt our chins upwards. Tilt, 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 tilt. If you feel a pinching sensation in your neck, feel free to stop. And I want you to start feeling that stretch here in the front of your neck, all right? As soon as you're feeling it, you don't have to go any harder. You can just enjoy that sensation. That's it. That's the whole thing. Just lift your neck back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. That's in the front. Hopefully, that feels a little bit better. All right. We have been doing a whole bunch of other movements where we have tucked our chin to our chest. All right. In the cat cow, which we opened with, for a lot of you who might not have been here for that, we opened with the cat cow to get a little bit of movement in our spine before we got into the exercises. Our knees are underneath our hips, our hands are underneath our shoulders. If you drop the belly button down and you look up, you're going to get a nice arch in the back. If you do the opposite, if you try to lift your mid back up as high as you can and you tuck your chest and your chin together, that is when we ran into that earlier, right? Chin to the chest. You don't have to, when you're stretching out, work on rotating and rounding as deep. You can focus more on stretching forward. If you grab your head and you tuck your chin a little bit, like halfway down, and you just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a shake, you should feel a little bit of relief here in the back of the neck muscles. If you go a little too hard, you're going to feel more of a stretch here in the upper back than you are going to feel in your neck muscles. So experiment with it. See if you can get some of these muscles to relax. And that means that you shouldn't round your back too much. If you're rounding your back, you're going to feel a stretch in the back. If you keep the back relatively straight and then you tuck the neck, you're going to feel it more in the neck muscles. All right? Give it a little wiggle, give it a little shake, pull the head forward. It's not going to be an easy stretch, especially if you have earbuds in, so you're too scared to cover your ears, because it's going to make the microphone sound awful. But experiment. See if you can get a little bit of a stretch here in the back of the neck. The straighter you keep your back and just let that folding, that bending come from the neck, the easier it will be to feel that stretch. So sit down, experiment with it, because this is not going to be as easy. Most of us are going to just turn everything all into one move. We automatically round forward. But if you keep your chest up, contract those back muscles, and then you tuck your head, you're going to start feeling it a little bit differently. But if you just learn how to use those muscles, you're going to be super confused. So don't go super hard. This is just a gentle reminder to sit up straight. And when you pull your head forward and down, start feeling a little tiny bit of a stretch in some of these muscles. If you want, since you know exactly where they are, you can give them a light massage, you can poke them, you can prod them, you can give them a nice wiggle, help them to relax a little bit, feel that tension in the back of your neck. It should feel a little tense, a little tender for most of us, and you can give yourself some extra love right here. Oh, that's nice. I should do this more often. Oh, I got a whole bunch of tension right here. What is that? Right beneath my hairline, I guess. Um, when I don't do anything, it doesn't feel like anything. When I tilt my head forward a little bit, there's definitely a little bit of tension. When I tilt my head forward a lot, there's a lot of tension. And that is a good reminder that the more you tilt your head forward, the heavier your neck, the heavier your head is going to feel on your neck muscles. All right. So those muscles are going to be even more tense. The longer you hang out in that position, the more those muscles are going to just be tense all the time, and the more soft and tender they're going to feel when you poke at them. They're going to be like, "Ooh, what's going on with my neck?" Another bonus. Let's stand up a little straighter. All right. What else we got? There's a whole bunch of ways to train the neck muscles. This doesn't happen in like normal life very often in like bodybuilding circles. But if you really wanted to, you can train your neck muscles. You don't have to go crazy with it. But wrestlers, for example, do things that you don't have to do this, by the way, right? I'm just demonstrating real quick. Wrestlers do things called like neck bridges. I'm gonna take off my glasses so I don't smash them on my face by accident. But there are movements that look vaguely like this that strengthen your neck. For most of us, you probably don't want to be doing that right away. There is an inverse version of that that looks like this. For most of us, it's basically a glute bridge, but except it's not your shoulders that are down, it's your head that is down and your neck is holding up your head, or your neck is holding up the rest of your body. For most of us, you're not going to want to jump right into that type of crazy movement where you're supporting a lot of weight, right? You can, however, take some of the basic movement, that basic stretch that we were doing, where we had our arm down and we were leaning our head to one side, we're pulling our neck down, we're feeling that stretch here. You can fight it a little bit with your neck muscles and see if that is enough to build a little bit of strength. All right. And same for this thing. You might not feel a whole bunch of strength being built when you lift your head up, but if you add a little bit of pressure in the front, just a tiny bit as you fight it up, you can work on smoothing out that motion. For a lot of us, when you first start trying to get a little bit more movement into your neck, you try to reclaim some of that range of motion, that mobility that you already have. Uh, just by looking up, you're going to feel a whole bunch of weirdness in your back, in your neck. Take it down, go slow. This does not have to be intense. We're trying to take care of ourselves, not to make our lives worse, right? Just slowly, slowly lift your head back, feel all the good sensations, and go, huh, I didn't even remember my neck could move like this. This is cool. All right. Most of the things that happen to us is a lack of movement. And at least, in our modern life, most of the ailments that we run into are related to muscle weakness, not muscle strength, right? Because we are not using those muscles, we're not doing things with those muscles. Those muscles just can't be strong. It's impossible. They need stimulation in order to be strong. So, for working on our back, for working on things that really matter, posture, low back pain, neck stretching, neck tension, and you're messing around with those things a little bit already. Remember, the goal is to be able to move smoothly. All right, it's not to just be, "Huh, I'm gonna stand up super straight and I'm gonna go through life like this." Okay, that's a lot of contraction. That's a lot of tension that you're putting into like a handful of muscles, and the rest of your muscles will get weak, just like before, right? It'll be impossible to do compared to slouching. When you're slouching, a whole bunch of muscles are getting weak because they're getting stretched out, they're relaxing, right? And then your neck muscles get really strong, but strong until they're just tender and rough all the time because your head is so heavy, right? You gotta move. So if you guys can go find something fun to do, learn some dance moves, shake those hips a little bit, get the spine to wiggle from side to side, to do some body rolls, to pop the chest out, that is going to massively help you relax and loosen some muscles. And when you can just go boom, 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 taking some of that cat cow motion, the general motion of the cat cow, and integrate it into a little bit of movement in your chair, in your normal life, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds while you're waiting for a message to come back from the boss or whatever. That is going to make your spine a whole lot happier. All right. I think that's all I got for today. Oh, we're 70 minutes into the live. That's crazy. All right. I'm going to check out the chat and see what's going on. Our lives are usually Monday through Sunday night at 9 p.m. What am I, 7? I've never even said 7 before. I don't know where that came from. We usually have lives Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. Usually we're doing hip mobility and side splits training. I'm about to well, I'm not about to. I'm getting close to my side split, so I need a little bit more recovery time so I can focus on the strength component of side splits. And so the Saturday and Sunday morning lives, which is this, has turned into something a little bit more relaxing, something a little bit more chill for your back, for your posture, stuff that can help generally a lot of people. And hopefully you learn some tools to use. You learned about some of the contracty stuff in your muscles in the back and are now able to help adjust yourself a little bit better, right? Again, the goal is always mobility and being able to move a little bit better, having a little bit of wiggly, shaky, movie stuff, moving your body as it's designed to do. That's going to always be good for you, all right? Unless you really have a crazy injury, which you shouldn't be moving that dramatically, right? Most things you can move a little bit and you can build up mobility, but there's a couple exceptions out there, I'm sure, that I'm not going to be able to remember. And if you have one of those, be careful. Don't move too hard, too fast. Take it slow, take it gentle, see what your body is capable of, and enjoy the fact that your body is designed to move. All right? What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Our normal life is hip mobility and side splits. All right. That is at 9 p.m. every single night. I make some other content. Most of it is about incorporating some fitness into the little tiny gaps in your day. If you got 2 minutes waiting for the microwave to finish heating up your lunch, if you got a couple minutes waiting for the coffee to come out the machine, I'm gonna go be doing that later. And if you have 5 minutes waiting for pasta to boil in that hot water, that is plenty of time you probably would have otherwise spent doom scrolling. All right. So I hope you hit follow. I hope you hit subscribe. I hope you doom scroll into some of my content to give you a healthy reminder that in the kitchen you got lots of opportunities to do calf raises, to do some squats, do some Cossack squats, do some Cossack switches, to work on all sorts of little tiny movements that you can do that will keep your joints a little bit happier with you, that will keep you feeling a little bit more energetic before you even drink that coffee. All right. So please hit follow, hit subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. We got side splits coming up. It is, oof, what is it time? 10 hours and 48 minutes from now at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I hope to see you there soon. Cool. All right. Also, I recently released a YouTube video about an experience at a sumo experience. I wrestled a sumo wrestler in Japan, and that was awesome. I'd love if you checked out that video. It is over on YouTube. The YouTube account is splits on the side, same as the TikTok account. And I am pretty sure, actually, nope, that's not linked on TikTok. It might be linked on TikTok, but it's definitely linked on Instagram because I changed that yesterday. Anyways, please go check out that video. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go check out some comments. All right, interesting. We got some haters on YouTube. Cool, that's fine. And how many people do we have live? Huh. All right. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the show. And let's take a look at TikTok. There's still 120 of you on. All right. Thank you for hitting follow, hitting subscribe, everybody. And we got questions. I'm going to scroll up to the very top and come down because I have noticed when we do the back ones, there's a lot of conversation that I don't read properly when I go backwards and scroll from the bottom to the top because they're not one line one line comments anymore. Charette says, "Hey everyone, thanks Ken. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here, Charette. Welcome back." Timon Tai G says, "Okay, I'm trying it in the cockpit. 1 second, let me tell the co-pilot." That is crazy. Yeah. Ty says, "Oh shit, we crashing." Yeah, that probably would do it. I might have said at some point about the cat cows way early in the beginning that you can do cat cows from a seated position, right? If you guys are at the office, you're working, and you want to get a little bit of the benefits of a cat really lifting the chest out and arching the back and doing the opposite, rounding the back, getting that mid back out as far back behind you as you can, tucking your head to the chest. You can totally do that from a chair. But please don't do that from a cockpit. I assume you're joking, but still hilarious. All right, what else we got? Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Che send in awesome emojis. Thank you, Che. We got. I felt it in my glutes. Good. I hope that's good because we did a lot of glute bridges. If you didn't feel it in your glutes during the glute bridges, then I hope you let me know what exercise you were feeling it in your glutes. But it's pretty much always going to be useful for your glutes to be firing more. For most people, your glutes are going to be firing less than necessary and not more than necessary. So definitely, if your butt is working, is good. That's fine. Usually not something to complain about because it's going to be good when your butt, the biggest muscles in your body are working. They're supporting the rest of your body, right? You want the big, powerful muscle to help out all the weak, little, tiny muscles. That's their job. Elle says, "I need this." Great, 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 great. I'm glad you were here for it. And Hal 75 says, "Man, that was an eye opener exercise." I hope you were talking about the wall angels, which is what this is called, where you stick your back to the wall, you take your elbows back, and you do your hands up and down, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I cannot move at all. That's yeah, that's one of those exercises where you're like, wow, it shouldn't be so hard. It doesn't look hard. It's hard. What else we got? Katie says I haven't done side planks in 15-ish years. That was a bit rough. Good, good. Do some side planks. Suffer. Um, Cutie says I use my opposite arm in front to assist pushing my body up. Yes, that is a great call. Doing the side planks. If you need a little bit of assistance, you want a little bit of help, see if you can stick your other arm down a little bit. Just try your best not to start rotating too much because your other arm is coming across the body and trying to help support. One thing that you can do to make this easier on yourself is to bend and reduce the length of that lever, right? You don't have to have your leg fully extended. You can hang out on that knee instead. I recommend you have something soft that you're doing this on so that your knee is not just supporting you on hardwood floor or concrete or whatever crazy surface you could be on. But if you shorten this lever, which means instead of the full length of the leg, you go to just the knee distance, should make it a little bit easier for you on your body. Cool? All right, what else we got? Katie and Cutie exchanging thank yous. So lovely, very adorable. Back in Time Comic and Toys says, when does he start these lives? Most of the time, this back posture glute live is going to start at 9 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. We have a show that's Monday through Sunday at 9 p.m. Those are hip mobility and side splits. You can feel free to come back to those. Those are going to be a little bit more high energy, a little bit more intense because they're evening lives. And I'm more awake during those moments in time. But these morning lives on Saturday and Sunday mornings are going to be a little bit more chill. All right. Cheel says, train my thigh muscles, but still have the sounds. Train my thigh muscles, but still have the sounds. Train my thigh muscles, but still have the sounds. What are we talking about? Train my thigh muscles, but what are the sounds? What sounds are we talking about? Chill, if you are still on, let me know. Manchusis sends in an emoji with some glasses. Exalt in the Lord says, thanks, Ken. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you as well. And I'm gonna scroll. Casey says, are you in Chicago? No, I am not in Chicago. We got EST. Thank you, Cutie, for responding with the time for everybody. I appreciate it. A Cordon Show sends a thumbs up. Oh, thanks. Gotcha. Oh, amazing. MLE says I have Stokes from vertebral dissection, and those stretches are amazing. Have been amazing for years. I wish I knew which stretches you specifically were talking about, but that's awesome. I'm glad that they're useful, and you have somebody telling you that is good for you. All right, everybody do them. Sanctuary Church 23 says sup. Lady Forest says that was great, and I think we're pretty much coming to the bottom. Katie says scoliosis with crazy face. All right. Oh wait, there's more. Comments just magically appeared. The whole screen magically refreshed for a second, and then there was more. User 3680575219991 says first time here, really enjoyed it. Amazing. SKB826 says, I'm interested in increasing mobility following. Thanks. Amazing. All right. The side splits and hip mobility stretching that we do in the evening is going to look more intense when I do it because I've been doing that one live for hundreds of days. This back thing live, this is the third weekend. So I've only done 6 of these. And every time I've done it has been a little bit different. I've been adding exercises, I've been changing exercises to find like a healthy mix of what's useful, what feels good, what feels like, you can handle, and then like we'll move on to something else. But the side splits live I've been doing for a much longer period of time. And we do a lot of things for mobility to warm up because there's a lot going on in your hips. The first thing that we do looks a little bit like this. We lift the knee up as high as we can. We open up that leg to the side, contracting our glutes, contracting a whole bunch of muscles here in the hip to lift that leg up as high as we can. We rotate that leg to bring the knee forward, to bring the ankle up, to get into this horizontal leg position. Then we keep on rotating, 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 bring the knee down, bring the ankle up, and then we finish by bringing the leg down and back, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, feeling the stretch here in the front in the hip flexor. We do 10 reps of those on each side to start, and that, for most people, is going to be really good for your hips because we're using our own muscles, right? Because we're lifting ourselves to bring our legs into crazy deep end range of motion in that hip joint, in that hip socket. If you're just starting out and you can't lift that high, that's okay. You don't have to worry about that. The goal is to build strength and mobility at the same time, and this is a great movement for it, right? Sometimes it's going to look chill, it's going to look easy. If you're not trying really hard and you're just going, half as deep as you could go, it's going to feel really easy. But this is one of those exercises where the more effort you give, the more you'll get out of it, right? I call this a warm-up exercise because most of us, we're going to be a little bit tired, we're going to be a little bit slow, we're going to be a little bit off balance when we first start. But usually, by the time we get to the reverse hip cars, because we go forward and we go backwards, at least I do, I start picking up the intensity and we start going boom, 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 and boom. Oh man, I'm tired. Hip cars. Um, in that show, there is a lot more going on for mobility. There is a lot more going on where you can add a little bit of strength building component to a stretch. I'm trying to make it more strength focused to build up people's abilities while in a stretched out position. And if you're interested, please come back, check that out. There's a lot more mobility in there. Sylvia says, at 76, there are times I wake up very stiff and in pain. Any suggestions? I used to be a pro dancer. Um, I think that stiffness typically comes from not moving throughout the night. And I think your quickest way of relieving it oftentimes is adding gentle movement right away and waking up the body. I don't know anything more than that. Um, And I guess the only metric I have to compare it to is my own waking up with stiffness and going, oh, my spine isn't working at all, and I need to do some cat cows immediately in order to get some movement. Otherwise, I'll go through the whole day, and this chunk of my spine will be completely locked up. I'll be waddling around like a penguin, going from side to side instead of having my waist and my hips woken up. Um, since you're a ex-pro dancer, I feel like you would have a lot of experience moving your body. So I'm not sure that that insight is useful for you at all. But oftentimes, if you're waking up very stiff and in pain, and that's not your normal state, that's not the state you want to be in, a little bit of movement, a little bit of stimulation, a little bit of doing stuff tends to help those. And the faster you do it, the faster you just deal with it, the easier the rest of the day tends to go. Um, in my experience. So if that's just the reminder that you needed to go deal with it immediately, then I don't know. I hope that helped. Bryce says thanks, Ken. All right. What else we got? I think that is everything in the chat. Oh, the scoliosis comment was in reference to when you brought up reasons why you might not be able to do an exercise fully. Absolutely. Thank you. That makes a lot more sense because I scrolled all the way to the top, came back down. I was like, I have no idea what this is for. Thank you, Katie. Yeah, that's everything. We are almost an hour and a half deep into this live. There's still like 100 of you over on TikTok. Thank you for being here. Welcome. I hope you had fun. I hope you're chilling now. I hope the random spewing of fun facts about exercise and slouching and posture and whatever it is that we talked about, because I can't remember, was useful. It was fun. I hope you're chilling, relaxing now a little bit, and you can go take on whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. All right. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Happy Sunday, and I'll see you in a little bit if you come back for the 9 p.m. Eastern Side Splits and Hip Mobility Live. Otherwise, especially if you're in Europe and you're going to be definitely sleeping, I hope to see you soon. Maybe next weekend. We got more back and posture and chill stuff on the weekends in the mornings. So same time next weekend, and we'll have the way more intense side split stuff tonight and every night forever. It seems because I don't have any idea when I'm going to stop doing it. So forever. We've been doing that for like 400 or 500 days, by the way. So you can bank on that continuing for a while at least. Cool. All right. That's it for me. Thank you so much. I'm closing out. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye. Close.